How will we escape? Well, we got to be careful. We've got to pay attention. Because some of us are getting anchored up to some things that just aren't true. They're just not true. What are you anchored up to? Where do you spend your time and your energy, your thoughts? Where do they go? Some of us were anchored into the social structure of our world. That's what we're anchored into. We're pretty sure that politics and the movements of society are painting a picture of doom and condemnation. You do know that the story of the Bible is a story of redemption. Starts in the garden and it ends in a city. That's a development. Starts in a primitive way and ends in a fulfillment. God's kingdom comes, his will is done on earth as it is in heaven. That's the story. We've turned that story into something else. Are you anchored to that? Are you anchored in politics? Are you anchored in relational realities? Well, my relationships don't work the way they're supposed to. My spouse, not what I need. My children aren't doing the right thing. My parents can't figure it out. Be careful where you drop your anchor. You got to pay attention. And then the second great word here, the second word is translated very literally, do not drift. It's the second nautical term. And the concept is that there's safe harbor, and we're all trying to get into that safe harbor, but there are unseen forces at work. And so if you're the captain of a ship, you have to know this, that there are things going on that's more than meets the eye. It's not just that you're trying to steer into the harbor, it's that there are currents and there are winds, and they will push you away. And when they push you away, you have to be aware of this. You can find yourself in very dangerous places. In fact, you can find yourself in places where you can't handle it, where it's too far gone, where you drifted past where you needed to be, and the option of safe harbor no longer exists because now you're over, and then you get wrecked over there somewhere. And that's really how we drift, isn't it? That we start to think about, we get anchored in the wrong things, and then we start to think, and then there's unseen forces that push us into we never intended to get into the dangerous waters, and we certainly never intended to run aground. How will we escape if we neglect so great a salvation? Thankfully, God's in the salvage business. Amen? Amen. Amen. So he pulls the tugboat out of the harbor because he says, if I have 100 sheep and 99 are safe, will I not go in search of the one lost sheep? Absolutely. He gets in that tugboat and he pulls right out of the harbor and he comes and he drags us off the rocks again. Thank God he does that. And he must, as we, are towed back into the harbor, he must go, those currents are about the same as they've always been. You might want to decide where you're going to anchor that thing, and then you might want to pay attention to the unseen forces that have a tendency to pull you off course. Because it's no fun. We get anchored to the wrong things, we get pulled off course, and we start to endanger it, and then we make bad decisions, and we can wreck our lives in an instant. It doesn't take long.